Hi there, I'm Luciano Pellgerini and welcome to my kitchen where today we're going to cook venison. I'm here in the kitchen of Valentino inside the fabulous Venetian Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Anyway, another great winter dish, game meat. I love game meats. And for all those hunters out there, we're going to do a loin today with pomegranate sauce. Fruit and games usually go hand in hand. You know, you got the gaminess of the meat. You need a little fruit to cut into that unpleasant to some flavors. And we're going to serve that with a little braised cabbage and bacon. Without further ado, I'm going to get the loin ready. I'm actually going to cut off the silver skin. So I'm going to begin by cutting off a little segment, and then with the blade of the knife, I'm actually going to, just like that, remove the silver skin from the meat, making sure that the actual blade goes against the skin so that I don't cut any meat off. And voila, you have a nice lean piece of meat. By the way, game meat is one of the best meats that you could possibly have. Not to worry about cholesterol, those nasty fats and whatnot. So I'm going to season my loins with a little salt and pepper. And voila. And then over here, I have a couple of pans that have been already put on a fire to heat up. I always want to start searing a meat or do anything with a hot pan. It kind of gets the sear effect right off the bat. So I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan and a little bit of butter. Now here I'm using a stainless steel pan. However, whenever I add butter to the pan, it kind of coats the bottom of the pan and it acts as a layer between the steel and the meat, and it behaves as just like a non-stick pan. So when I put my meat in, as you can see, I move it around and voila, non-stick pan. So I lower my fire to medium. I'm going to get a nice brown sear on that. Meanwhile, I'm going to cut my cabbage here. And I'm going to julienne. I'm going to remove the core first, and then I'm going to julienne the cabbage as fine as you can, you know, less than a 1/4 inch wide. So then I'm going to get my bacon going here. I have some bacon. I have another pan that is nice and hot on the fire here. I'm going to add some butter to that as well. So when searing a meat, you always want to sear the one side first, that eventually you will plate up, that will have the nicest color. Every time you add a cold item into a hot pan, it will actually decrease the temperature in the pan, and chances are when you turn it around, it will not brown as nicely as on the first side. Okay, so now I'm going to add to my bacon a couple of sliced garlic cloves. Ooh, jumping bacon. I don't know about you, but you can see I got some nice reddish color going. I'm going to flip them. And I was saying, I don't know about you, but what's better than the smell of roasted garlic? Smell of roasted garlic and bacon. So I got my bacon is nicely toasted, so is my garlic. I'm going to add the cabbage to the pan. And this is going to add as the bed for the meat and as the side dish, of course. I'm going to saute it a couple of times. A little salt and pepper. I'm going to prepare my frying base for the sauce. So I'm going to chop up a shallot. Just like that. And slice up a couple of garlic cloves as well for the sauce. I want to lower the flame on the cabbage. I kind of want it to stew a little bit and then braise. So we want to cover it up for a minute or so. So meanwhile here, our venison loins are almost ready to be picked out. Got some nice sear going on the other side as well. Let's take that off the pan. And we're going to keep it in a warm place to settle. Meanwhile here I'm going to toss the burnt fat. As you can see, I have a lot of juices that have caramelized in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to add some fresh butter and the chopped shallot and garlic. So for the sauce, like I said, we're going to use a pomegranate. I actually took the liberty of juicing some earlier, and we're going to actually do our sauce with that. So first we're going to add some to the cabbage as well. And we're going to add a little rosemary, some fresh herbs to the sauce. And I add them all so that then I can remove them. I just want the faint flavor of the fresh herbs in the sauce. All right, so I added my juice there and I deglazed my pan. What does deglaze mean? It means to actually melt down again and liquefy the hardened residue of the juices that the meat let go, and that eventually got stuck to the pan. As you can see, the pan now doesn't have any more of the brown stuff stuck over there. So we're going to let that simmer up. And while the sauce gets ready and the cabbage braises, I'm going to show you how to seed a pomegranate. So I'm actually going to use this bowl. So here we have a pomegranate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. And then basically I'm going to just start, I'm going to kind of break it in half, and then I'm going to kind of pick off the seeds. As you can see, just they come easily off, and then remove whatever membrane there is between seeds that I toss, and then you kind of pick the seeds off just like that. Now, of course, as you well know, pomegranates is a great fruit. It's got a lot of antioxidants, great for you. And it has a very fresh, sweet flavor. And when you eat the seeds, or when you add seeds to a salad or a sauce, it will actually add texture to whatever dish. They have a certain crunch to them, which is not unpleasant. So as you can see, I just pull apart and just sprayed myself. And I think that's enough for the dish we're going to do today. Believe it or not, dinner is almost ready. As you can see, my cabbage has got a very nice brown color. My sauce is almost ready. It's thickened up nicely, of course, because of the sugar in the juice and the butter that I added to the pan. I am going to dilute a little bit with a little stock, chicken stock in this case. I think I got all the flavor that I wanted in the sauce from my fresh herbs, so I'm going to remove them. Put this back on the fire. And as you can see, when you let the meat rest, it's let go of more juices, and more will come when I slice the meat. So we're going to reintroduce those back to the sauce as well, very important. So I'm going to cut the loin crosswise so that I have nice medallions. Again, this is a noble cut, the loin is, so you definitely want to undercook it, just like a steak. So you want to cook it medium rare. And as you can see, it's got the outside rim nicely roasted and a nice warm center. I'm actually going to check for flavor, see if I have any sauce, if I have enough salt in there that came off from the meat. Almost perfect. A bit of salt. And I am going to finish the meat off with a finishing salt anyway. So without further ado, we're going to start plating. We're going to put our braised cabbage in the middle of the plate. And then we're going to fan the medallion. I'm just going to use my hands. And believe it or not, this dish is ready to go. So I'm actually going to sauce. I don't know if you can see, the sauce is a nice deep reddish brown color. I'm going to just coat pretty much all the slices. I'm going to add some of the fresh seeds for both color and texture, and needless to say, flavor. And a little Hawaiian red volcanic sea salt. And of course, a little bit of olive oil. That's how it's done. A little roasted venison with a pomegranate sauce. Enjoy and buon appetito.